Hey everybody, what's going on? We got a few things to cover today, so real quick, shout out to the winners from yesterday's video. You are now entered into the giveaway for the $100 gift card. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll card to it up there. You can go check out the details, come back and participate if you would like. So we're going to look at the new Fusion. We're going to talk about some summon rates and, I don't know, a little bit more stuff too. So first thing I figured we should talk about that I know everybody's going to be stoked about is double summoning rates on all shards. I'm sorry, not all shards, from Ancients. Every time I look at this and glance at it, I read it as like Sacred, Void, and Ancient. Doubling your rates of receiving Legendary and Epics from Ancient. So we got a double Ancient weekend coming for everybody that's been saving and managed to make it through the 10x without blowing everything. Although I will say I heard a lot more people saying they had luck this 10x than ever before, and I think that's because they spread out the options a bit, gave more choices. I still I'll take a 2x over a 10x any day of the week. So if you've got some shards, there you go. If you got some shards and you would like me to pop them, hop in my Discord, try to get in touch with me somehow, and we'll make it happen. I'm not opposed to doing a little summon compilation for you guys. Will it be a Marty video? I don't know, maybe. But if you guys, either way, if you would like me to do some summons for you, then let me know. But otherwise, good luck to everybody over the weekend. Now, this is what I really want to talk about, this Fusion, because I'm hearing a lot of different takes on this, and I want to share my take on it. I want to tell you guys how I feel about this, and it may surprise you that I don't hate this. I've seen some people think that this is really, really dirty of Plarium, and there's a lot of really sinister takes on this one, and I get it. I can't be mad at the people that feel that way, because again, I've said this a few times, this is the hole Plarium has dug themselves into. Now, even when they do something that might not be that bad, that's how people are going to feel about it, because people have been conditioned to feel this way about Plarium, okay? So I'm not mad at anybody that hates this Fusion. I understand that. I do disagree, though. I try to approach all of this objectively and not let the past just affect how I feel about what's going on. And I think objectively, this is not bad. I just don't think it's bad. The way that this works is, for this guy, who again we've talked a little bit about, he's not broken. It's not going to ruin your game if you don't get him. He's just another fun one. It's kind of on the same page as Killian. Like, he'll be fun to get and use, but it's not like anything in the game is going to be undoable without this guy, right? So it's a fun thing. If you want to participate, do. If you don't, don't. The way that you make him is to have 4 Drakes. The way that you get the Drakes is to get a bunch of Skull Sworns, and the way you get Skull Sworns is by farming Sewers of Arnok. Now, I think at first glance, people see this, and it looks very daunting, right? It's like, how? I'm going to spend so much energy and not get any Skull Sworns, and I'm going to show you what I've done so far, but it's really not that bad, and you've got over 3 weeks to do it. So I think part of the frustration that people are expressing here is that they can't do it today. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you, I started doing this last night. Last night, I started farming Sewers of Arnok, and I probably spent about 5,000 energy, because I also did some potion farming and some other things. So I think I've probably spent about 5,000 energy total doing this, and I already had one Drake, one 4-star Drake that hadn't been touched in the vault, okay? So just in last night, just in about 5,000 energy, I've managed to not only bring up one that I want to build, I've made a whole other Drake and 5-starred him, and I've made my other 2 Drakes already. And I had to make all 3 of these from scratch, from total scratch. I had no Skull Sworns, and I've still got these 3 and 2 more, and this one, because I wasn't paying attention. I just kept going, right? It was a very background task. I was just doing it, swapping in what I wanted to build, leveling up food. So I, for all intents and purposes, did it in one night with 5,000 energy. Now, I know everybody doesn't have 5,000 energy sitting around, so you're not going to be able to do it in a night. But over the course of 3 weeks, this is, if you wanted to participate in this Fusion, I think that there's no no debate that it's doable. Some are going to have better RNG than others, of course. Of course, some people are going to have a harder time doing this, but I just think it's doable, and I think that being frustrated that you have to sacrifice your attention on other parts of the game to do this, while understandable again, while the default is kind of to be frustrated at what the game is doing. I just don't think it's as reasonable to be upset about this as it is about other things that they've done, because it's a legendary. You know what I mean? And if you're newer in the game and you don't have any legendaries, or you only have one legendary, or whatever, I think most people in any situation, let's even say it was going to be crazy and cost you 8,000 energy. Would you give 8,000 energy for a legendary champion? Like, would you just make that trade flat out? I think most players probably would, depending on the situation. I don't know that I personally would, for my own gain anyway. You know, I want the dude because I want to make some content. He looks fun. I want to do some fun things with him. But I think most players, given their current situations, would trade a big block of energy for a new legendary, and that's essentially what you're doing here. You're going to have to farm the Skullsworns, level them up a bit, which is not that bad. Get some potions for them, which is not that bad. You know, it's going to be grindy, but it should be, man. It's legendary. Like, that's how it goes. So I think people are upset, and again, I can't blame them, but this is not even near the same level as something like a Tormund or a Rotos or a Foley. You know what I mean? It's a fun, doable fusion with a fun, playable champ that you can mess around and do some fun stuff with. You don't have to have him. Your game won't be broken if you don't get him. So if you don't want to participate, then don't. And don't be mad about it. And if you do want to participate, then do, and don't be mad about it. Like that's kind of how I feel like. That's the energy that I feel like this fusion deserves. Do or don't, and be okay with it. You'll be fine either way. That is my take on the fusion itself. So if anybody was on the fence or has been wondering what I think about it, that is what I think about it. I think do it if you want to do it. Like, it's not gonna break your game to have him or not have him. So that's that. Now, if we want to take a look at him real quick, talk about what it is he's going to do and what I'm going to do with him. He does have cool base stats for sure. His base HP is pretty high, decent base attack for a defense champ, good base defense, good base speed. His resist and accuracy are super high. He's going to be very easy to get accuracy on. So right out of the gate, he's going to be easy to build, right? First skill has a chance to repeat. Now, other skills like this continue to have the chance to repeat, right? So someone was telling me like they've seen a Skullsworn hit like 7 times with his first skill, because it'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. So maybe that's like what this is. If it repeats at all, then if you've got the accuracy on him, he'll throw up a heal block for 2 turns as well. So Spirit Dungeon, I reckon. And then A2, 25% strengthen on himself and a provoke on an enemy. So he provokes someone, sets himself up to be able to take the hit. Fairly straightforward. You can get it down to a 2-turn cooldown. I got something weird going on here. Third skill, AoE attack break. This could be pretty helpful in dungeons. You know, AoE attack break. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. You can make the waves a little weaker if you're not getting through the waves super fast. Also worth keeping in mind, he is defense scaling, so there's potential for him to do some pretty good damage here, along with the utility he's bringing to the fight. So AoE attack break, always handy. And here, when attack decreases the attacker's max HP by 5%, cannot decrease a single enemy's max HP by more than 50%, occurs once per enemy attack, does not work against bosses, has a 50% chance of placing a true fear debuff on targets whose max HP has been decreased by 20% or more. So I'm assuming once someone crosses that 20% threshold, every time they hit him, they have a chance of catching a true fear debuff. So this is really cool. He seems to clearly be built for fights that are going to go on for a while, right? He's got heal reduction. He's got attack down. He's got provoke with strengthen. He seems to be designed for longer fights. He seems to be pretty well built for faction wars too. So I think that there's some utility in faction wars as well with him. But kind of a funky. We'll see how this looks in application. I don't know. It's hard to tell exactly how that's going to play out, what that means, but that's my take on it. And then last, revives a Skullsworn with 50% HP and 50% turn meter at the start of each turn. If there are multiple Skullsworns on the team, only one of them will be revived. So what I'm probably going to do just for the meme is build a bunch of Skullsworns and go into faction wars with them and let them go to work. Because when I first read this, I thought, oh, it'll just apply to one Skullsworn on the team. But no, what it means is if there are 2 dead, he'll only revive 1. But if that one stays alive, the next turn he's going to revive the other one. Basically, if there's a dead Skullsworn at the beginning of each turn, he's going to bring it back to life. So I think that that's going to be pretty fun, pretty memey. Maybe we'll play around with it in Arena, do some stuff in Faction Wars. I'm close to getting him. I'll have him by the end of the day, even if I have to open up a potion dungeon to get some stuff to finish ascending my drakes. I'll have him by the end of the day, 100%. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get a video up on him, playing around with him and doing some stuff, and let you guys see what he looks like in action early enough in the fusion that you can decide if he looks fun enough that you want to try to go for him. So that's it. That's all there is to talk about today. We all know the patch. The Relentless nerf, I guess I could touch on that. It doesn't affect me much. I only use Relentless on Seer and Torment anyway. I understand being aggravated about it, and I do think it's a little silly that they didn't just put that in the patch notes to begin with either. I don't know why they kept leaving that out of the patch notes. You know, so that we wouldn't talk about it before it happened. But I understand being frustrated about it. It didn't feel like Relentless was that broken to me. I know that there are situations where you feel the impacts of Relentless more because people get extra turns from different skills and stuff, but I think that's kind of part of the fun. It's a hard set to get anyway. You can't farm it. And there's a lot of people who have been wailing out in tournaments. I think Darth even said he's been wailing out in tournaments for a while, specifically for Relentless gear. So now he's spent all that time and money and resources leveling up this Relentless gear, and now he says it's not nearly as usable as it was, especially for the things he was wanting to use it for. So it's like now it's just all of that stuff feels wasted because it doesn't feel like the set's going to do what he wanted it to do. So I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't personally affect me. I understand being frustrated about it, and I'm sure that like up in Platinum, it's going to make a little bit of a difference. Maybe Rotos and Relentless. I don't know what's going on up in Platinum these days, but let me know what you guys think about that, I guess. What I do want to know about is how you feel about the fusion and if you're going to go for him or not. If he's interesting enough for you to go for, or if you're just going to let him chill and wait on the next one. If you like the way that they did this fusion, if you agree that it's free-to-play friendly, if you hate the way they did it, I will be interested to know how you guys feel about it too. And, feedback's always good. I'm sure that they do get around to our videos. We know that. They comment on our videos occasionally. So we know they get around. We know they see you guys' comments. So any productive criticism you want to leave in there. I mean, sometimes I know you want to leave non-productive criticism too. Do your thing. Live your life. Express yourself. But if you want to offer them some insight and let them get a consensus on how we're feeling about things, and maybe they'll see those comments occasionally. I don't know. I don't know how much time they really spend on YouTube. But regardless, I'm curious. I want to know how you feel about it, if you're going for them. All that stuff. So I guess we'll wrap it up here. I appreciate you guys watching. What is today? Thursday? All right. I got to try something new Thursday up today, too. So I will have that up this evening. That's it. Thanks. I'll catch you guys later today.